Hey guys, Zyger here. Just wanted to bring you a new guide on the Blazing Sweep build for Crusaders in PTR patch 2.6.4 because recently Blizzard's made some changes to bring some of the tier sets up to the same level as the best set of each class. And in terms of the Crusader, that's typically been seen as the Condemn build so far. But in this patch, the Roland set got quite a big boost. So just wanted to show you this build in action, show you the gear. I'll talk about the abilities, the gems, the cube items, and also do a little gameplay demo. Alright, so let's start with the gear first. So in the weapon slot, you want either your best furnace or your best golden Flense. So it's usually a little bit better to have a good furnace here because the golden Flense maxes out on the cube, which we'll refer to later. But the bonus rolls you're looking for here is 10% damage and 10% cooldown. Those are the best two rolls that you can get for this item. For boots, you want Roland Stride, Strength, Vitality, Resistance to all elements, and Sweep attack damage. For shield, you want the Denial Shield. The best bonus rolls would be to get Strength, Sweep attack damage, critical hit, and cooldown. It's really hard to get a denial like that. As you can see, mine is not. But those are the best three rolls. If you can't get one of those three, Vitality will suffice. Area damage will also suffice. For your rings, you want one compass rose. That's the best compass rose you can get with bonus rolls of critical hit damage, cooldown, area damage, critical hit percentage. So those are the best rolls there. The rest of the Roland set in the other slots except for the chest. So you got the legs, you want strength, vitality, resistance all. You got the gloves. The best bonus rolls here are critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and area damage. Those are the best three rolls there. If you can't get one of those three, get vitality, that's fine. With the shoulder, strength, vitality, area damage, and cooldown. If you can't get area damage and cooldown, you might have resistance all or something like that, but those are the best. With the helm, you want strength, crit hit chance, and sweep attack damage. That'll really maximize your burst potential and damage potential. With the chest, we have the Cinder Coat because this is a fire-based build. Best Cinder Coat possible. You want fire, strength, and vitality. With the amulet, you want to get the Traveler's Pledge, the best one that you can. Ideally, you'll have the rolls of fire percentage, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance. And if you get an ancient one and have all those rolls, that's amazing. As you can see, mine is not up to that point yet. With the strong arms, you want fire, strength, vit, and crit hit chance. And with your other ring, you want the convention of elements. And on this one, you have a little bit of leeway too, but probably the best to get here would be area damage, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance. You could also get things like attack speed would be a fine roll. Attack speed in general is a decent roll for this build. As far as gems, you have the Esoteric Alteration. This maximizes your survivability to a large extent. It's really important. And as you can see, this is 100 level max. That gives you 60% non-physical damage reduction. You want the Bane of the Stricken. Again, helps your damage. Make sure that you're able to pump out insane amounts of damage with this build and do really good single target damage. You also have the Bane of the Trapped, which is used in almost every build. Get your best Bane of the Trapped in there. Those are the three gems. So let's talk about abilities at this point. So with your primary attack, you want Sweep Attack, Blazing Sweep. Now, Blazing Sweep will allow you to catch the enemies on fire for 120% weapon damage over 2 seconds. This will also do a lot of damage in an AoE kind of conal frontal cone in front of your character. You want Steed Charge with Drawn Quarter. What this allows you to do is pool mobs together into clumps, and that's really vital for this build, as we'll show you later. Condemn Vacuum. That is another tool that you have to group mobs together because it's really imperative that mobs are clustered close together in this build because of how the damage outputs. It's the most important thing to have all the mobs grouped together. Iron Skin Flash. This allows you to both have damage reduction and to be mobile throughout enemies instead of getting boxed into locations and stuck. You could go for other options here, such as Steel Skin to extend this, but Flash is probably the most viable for later greater tier rifts. Laws of Valor with Unstoppable Force. It allows you to be able to sustain damage, gain attack speed, and also generate Wrath. And for your last ability, you want Akarat's Champion with Prophet. Again, this maximizes your survivability to a huge extent. It's one of the most vital aspects of this build. For your passive skills, you want Heavenly Strength. Allows you to hold the two-handed weapon and a shield, which are both vital to this build. Finery gives you additional strength, increases damage output. Holy Cause, same thing, plus a little bit of healing. And Indestructible, this will allow you, again, more survivability, for if you die, you'll be able to be resurrected, continue on in the rift. Alright, so let's go down to the cube here. I'll show the cube items. So like I said before, you want either to wear your best furnace or Flense. So if you're wearing the best Flense that you have, you'll put the furnace in the cube, but I have the golden Flense in this cube. You'll have Aquila's Cuirass. This is, again, another incredible survivability item that's really vital. You'll have almost full Wrath always with this build because of the way that the spec works. So this is a huge, huge, huge survivability boost. Very key piece of the build. And Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. It just increases your cooldown potential for all your abilities to be refreshed after you've been using them. Alright, so let's get to the gameplay demo with the Fire Sweep build here. So I'm going to try a Greater Rift level 102. This spec is capable of much higher than that, but I think 102 is a good place to kind of demo and show this build. So here we go. So we get in the Rift. The main thing here is to group mobs together and then just unleash your sweep. If you stand still, you do more damage, but if you move, you take less damage because of the Traveler Pledge Compass Road combo. But you're just basically trying to get mobs together, sweep at the elites, and do as much damage as possible. Get in the Oculus ring areas as well whenever you can. And watch your survivability here. Don't be afraid to always get your iron skin up and just continue moving onward. It's best to either go for huge clumps or groups with elites in them. As you can see, you're going to have to watch your survivability with this build. My build is not completely kind of optimized yet, but nonetheless, you do have to worry about those things and keep doing your iron skin. Iron skin really vital. You don't want to fall down, lose time. As you can see, there's quite a bit of damage going out here. This is kind of a bad situation, but you just want to keep moving. Get your mobs together and unleash the sweep attacks. There we go. Group mobs together, pull them in, draw and quarter, and get the sweep attacks flowing again. And that's basically the spec. With the Rift Guardian, you will want to avoid the affixes, obviously, and the special abilities that each Rift Guardian has, but you'll also want to group mobs together. If the Rift Guardian spawns adds, that's the best type of Rift Guardian for this build, because the single target damage is not always great, but with your convention you do a lot more damage. Some ways to increase the survivability of this build: you could go Unity instead of convention, but you'll lose out on a lot of damage that way. So I don't always really recommend that, especially if you're pushing higher tiers, but that's about the only adjustment I would suggest other than this build. So that's about it. Alright, so I just completed that 102 with relative ease, and I'm not really even fully optimized because, as you can see, I don't even have an Ancient Compass Rose or a Traveler's Pledge. I don't have the right rolls on my Traveler's Pledge either. Remember, what you want: fire, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance. This spec is capable of very high greater rifts. I think it can push into the 120s, and this very well may be the best Crusader spec in the new patch. It has a chance of overwhelming the Condemn build. I think it's very promising. We'll have to see how it compares to the Lightning variant, because you can do the Lightning trip attack variant to this spec, and there's some advantages there, but there's some disadvantages too. So we'll have to see which one evens out to being the best, but I think this is very viable, Very good spec for patch 2.6.4. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my guide on the Crusader Blazing Sweep build for 2.6.4. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos.